When is the best time to actually sell your MSP? Whether you are just starting or you're about to sell, you're going to learn so much from this video, because if you're just starting, you're going to learn to keep in mind what you need to focus on, what you need to make sure you double, triple check. So that way, when the time comes to sell the business, you know exactly when the right time to sell is. And if you're gearing up for the actual sale, congratulations. This video is going to share with you what you need to know so that way you can have a smooth transition and ultimately earn the most amount of money possible for your business. My name is Harrison Marin from growth-generators.com. We help MSPs with growth. That's what we do, from sales training to marketing to business operations. And we have quite a bit of experience with selling MSPs and helping them get to that point where they're getting ready to actually have that check signed over to them. Before I get into today's video, I do have to mention two quick things. Number one is there are tons of super helpful links down in the video description, from helpful videos to resources and anything like that. And number two, if you haven't joined the Discord yet, I highly recommend joining if you'd like. It's completely free. We don't ask for any information. All we want you to do is help in the community and be respectful. Join at growth-generators.com/Discord. So what is the right time to sell? It might be something that you've just started thinking about, or it might be something that, hey, you know what? It's something you're building a business, maybe to sell one day, maybe to cash out. You have a target in mind. You know how much money you want to get paid at the end of it, and you want to know exactly how to get there from point A to point B. Well, the first is you have to evaluate your business's performance. And typically, when you go to an M&A firm, a mergers and acquisitions firm, they're going to help you with a lot of this. They're going to dive super deep down into your financial health. Now, this is going to be everything for the past handful of years. They might want to see it for 3 to 5 years, maybe even a little bit longer, just to see trends and growth over time. But ultimately, they're looking at your revenue, the profit margins, the cash flow, how many subscriptions you have. All of these things are really important for somebody to look at before they actually go buy the business. So this is something you could start making sure that, hey, maybe you're looking at a 25 or 30% revenue or profit, I should say, in your business, and you want to bump that a little bit higher. You want to stay with that same number, whatever that number is, but you want more profit built in. Great. How do we work into that? And also, is your business trending in the right direction? Have you made more money? Have you made more profit year after year? Is it trending downwards and you're trying to get out before it crashes? These are things, believe it or not, to consider, because you could either grow over time, you can maintain over time, you can lose over time, and depending on which way it's going will actually affect the value of your business, because an investor is going to look at that. The person buying it wants to make sure that it's what they're looking for. Maybe they're looking for businesses that are slowly failing. They'll be able to pay a little less, and they know that they could go in, fix it, and start to make it increasingly more profitable. But those are some of the big things that come with that financial health, and making sure that your client base, are you getting new clients? When was the last time you've signed people on? How many seats on average does each one of these have? And while you're getting these clients, what's your marketing advantage? Are you hey, we're going to meet in person, we're going to exchange business cards, and we're going to grow the business from there? Or do you have a marketing plan in action? You know that for every, hold up my fake money here, but for every dollar you put in to marketing, you're going to get $5 or $10 or $15 out of it. What does that actually look like? These are really important. And what's your strategic plan to get in front of those people, to close those opportunities, is super important. But that's all that goes into kind of evaluating your business performance. And you'll begin to see this. And quite honestly, if you're growing through the journey, these are questions you should be having, or conversations you should be having with your accountant. Maybe not so much about the staff and all of that, but what do our profit margins look like? What is our overhead? Where is the money going? You should be able to sit down and go through your P&L, your profit and loss statement. This is where QuickBooks or Xero or some other accounting software is going to be tremendously valuable. And on your annual or semi-annual review, you're going through and unearthing some of these things before they become we messed up type of situation. Now, the second thing to consider as you go through this process, right? We have that financial aspect, but there's market conditions. Now, at the time of recording this video, The life for MSPs is honestly insanely good. It is only growing. It is growing at a exponential rate. And look, with technology, with more concerns about cybersecurity, with more businesses that were in the Stone Age for the longest time, they're using technology. I'm actually going to share a quick little website. I've used this website before, but VC3. And what I find interesting in here is they have businesses that really, statistically, local government services, if anybody's worked for the government, their systems are super outdated. Municipalities, the exact same thing. Healthcare usually is pretty far ahead. Even some manufacturing, small manufacturing businesses, I'd be lying to you if I didn't say that there's plenty of them out there still running on Excel sheets and might not be the best client. But you want to know the industry trends. What are more businesses attracted to it? Are more businesses leaving technology? Few and far between. But what does that actually look like? And what does the other business environment look like for MSPs? Not just more people joining and buying from them, but are there a lot of mergers going on? Are there a lot of acquisitions going on? Who's buying what businesses? Why are they buying those businesses? Who are the buyers for those businesses? There's going to be a point where, a big fish usually eats the smaller fish. As you go through this process, you have to keep looking at larger and larger MSPs, maybe to acquire you, or private equity firms, whatever that you'd like to, or whoever you'd like to sell to. Maybe you want to just sell to an individual person. That's totally fine as well. But these are things that you have to start thinking about, especially as you get larger. There becomes less and less people that could spend the cash to help you walk away with your paycheck. So this is something really important. And then on top of that, economics. Now here in the United States, the economics have been kind of crazy, but for the rest of the world, I can't say. It varies tremendously from country and region around the world. And who knows what's going to happen right now in 2024? It's an election year. Good, bad, or indifferent. I don't care who you vote for. But what's important is those things affect the market. You can turn a blind eye if you'd like, but whoever wins, who has more money, all of that kind of stuff, what's going on in the environment, what's going on in the economy, all play a tremendous impact. What are rates for interest if you're going to get a bank loan to help pay these off? These are factors to consider. When rates are low, people typically break out the wallets and start to spend money. But when rates are high, just like a mortgage, there's less and less people eager to get money to go buy more businesses. But now that you've made it through this process, right? We've talked about the business, the finances, we've talked about the market conditions, but what about actually preparing to sell? We've covered probably some of the more important things, but you have to be ready to actually sell. There's going to be a process. You have to come up with some kind of idea to do a business evaluation. Now, there are tons of companies that offer this, and I wouldn't recommend self-certifying. It's really good to get somebody else's eyes on it, because if you self-certify and you're like, this is what my business is worth, you don't know what actually goes into it. And because it's your business, you're going to be probably a little biased. You need somebody externally to start looking at that business and finding out that valuation, your assets, your liabilities, your cash, your profits, all of these things come into play that they can say, hey, you might be a 200 or let's just say $20 million company, but you have 10 million in liabilities. Well, that's going to cause some problems, right? And that is going to go into the factor of your price. And then going through and not only getting one estimate, but maybe even two if you need it. Sitting down with a forensic analyst to go find money or see where money's going are all real things, depending on the scale of the business that you actually get to, that nobody actually thinks about. Now, before you sell, one of the best things that you can do is start to build some business appeal. Those crazy marketing strategies that you might have thought about years ago are the time to break them out. If you really want to add that fuel to the fire, they want to see a steady increase and then a bit of an explosion. They want to think that they're riding a wave. Hopefully they are, but they want to see that on paper. And that's really important. Start to build better connections, either a really powerful referral system, and start getting that kind of stuff ready where it looks enticing to a potential buyer. Start cleaning up your books and making them as good as possible, maybe cutting some corners here and there to help increase that profit without sacrificing for your customers. But this is super important. You want to make sure somebody looks at it and says, that's the business. That's the exact one I want to have. It checks all the boxes for me to go buy. Super, super important. And the last part of this is it takes time to find a buyer. Good, bad, or indifferent. I've had plenty of friends sell their MSPs, get acquired, shift into different roles in MSPs that are acquiring. I've had the super fortunate ability to see a ton of different aspects of it. Trust me, start looking for a buyer and start this process way sooner than you originally thought. More so the buyer. You have to start identifying potential buyers. In this world, you're not just going to stand on the street corner and say, hey, I have an MSP. If you want to buy it, I think it's worth this. You can't do that. You have to start identifying potential buyers, whether that's big conglomerates, private equity, other businesses, but this is super, super important. And it takes time. And timing in this whole process can be a lot. Now, if you're just starting out, you can go through this whole process and always keep it on the back of your mind. Hey, I should probably have clean books. I should probably do this. But there's plenty of people that might not have been as responsible, and that's okay. They exist. I may be one of them sometimes, but you go through this entire process. Well, it takes time. It might take several months to get a full business valuation. It might take months and months to find a buyer. It might take a while for them to acquire financing if they need it. And for you to be in a position where you could still grow, you could still work, you can still do the business, but that other external entity then can come in and actually take charge. And figuring out maybe they want to buy the business, but they want to keep you on for a year, 2 years, 3 years to help that business fully transition smoothly over. You might not get to the point where you're like, yep, here's the business, give me the money, and I'm running. It just might not happen. Every deal is going to be important. So if you're thinking about starting, one of the best tips I ever gotten was between 3 and 5 years before you throw in the towel, you retire, whatever it is you want to call it. Start thinking about doing everything I just mentioned in this video. Consult with an expert. If you need an expert, reach out to us, growth-generators.com. We have friends that do this for a living, but it's really, really important. And the last and most important thing that I can't stress enough is you. It's your business. You have to be in the spot where you feel comfortable. Hey, you know what? It was a good run. Let's sell it. Let's take that paycheck. Let's go, whatever it is that you decide to do. But that's the best part about it. There is a finish line and you get to determine it, assuming if you're watching this video. So as you begin to go through it, is it the right time in your life? Maybe you're expecting a kid. Maybe your kid's graduating from college and moving home for a couple of years and you want to spend the most amount of time with them. Hey, maybe you want to try living in a different country. Whatever it is that you are passionate about and you want to go do afterwards, keep this in mind. If you know that you're not getting any younger and you want to go climb a mountain, you might want to start the process a little bit sooner so you can go do that without having the business weighing you down mentally. But there's so many factors to consider. It's a really cool process. It's truly, truly incredible. And hey, if you're watching this video and you do sell, I'd love to hear how it went. But otherwise, congratulations, you made it. And if you're just starting out, congratulations, you're taking your first step on potentially selling this, creating whatever financial gain that you want or financial wealth you want. I'm super, super proud of you. And other than that, I love the heck out of you guys. As always, do me a favor, hit that like button, that subscribe button, that notification bell, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Till then, bye.